Hi everyone, so today is the Superheavy Samurai breakdown of deck day, where we're going to go through the cards, done this before with lots of other decks, go through the cards, bit of preparation for your Nationals tournaments which are coming up soon. Then what we're going to do is we're going to go into the solo mode and play a couple of games, so a couple of test hands, not like against people, just to show what the combos do and various different routes you can take. So if you've been living under a rock, this Superheavy Samurai deck is the one that's coming out alongside the Pearly deck in the Cyberstorm Access set, which is coming out, I believe, next week, or pre-releases next week and comes out the week after, one of the two. Yeah, so this is like the big hitter, the one that people have been going on about. This deck's definitely got a higher ceiling than the Pearly deck, but to be honest, unfortunately, in modern Yu-Gi-Oh, it's more about playing around the things, because there's this deck, like, it doesn't matter how high your ceiling is, if you're searching every single time or you're relying on a graveyard, draw and Lockbird, Shifter, end your turn, so your deck's now got a very low ceiling because you've been hit with Draw and Shifter. So we're going to get into it, some of the new ones first. Superheavy Samurai Bike. If you've got no spells and traps in your grave, which is the condition for most of these Superheavy Samurai cards, that's why there's no spells or traps in the deck. If you have no spells or traps in your grave, you can discard this card, add one Superheavy Samurai monster from your deck to your hand. I'm going to go through a couple of these Superheavy Samurais and we'll talk about the hand traps sort of as we go. So yeah, so discard this, add one to your hand, and then so you can only use this effect of Bike once per turn. Once per turn, again, this is like a normal once per turn card, so like once per turn per copy. Tag one machine monster you control. This is also coincidentally a machine. Increases level by 2. So it basically lets you do 2 plus 4 would only be a level 6 synchro. But now what you can do is increases level by 2, make it level 4. 4 plus 4, you can get into level 8 synchro, which is the golden thing here, because you make a cell, and then a cell brings back the Bike. Then you can make Baron. Oh, just one more thing. This list isn't my list. This list is the one that won the 10Ks tournament. It was a New Zealand-based company, I think, that held the tournament, sorry. And it was commentated on by Nesh and DB Grinder, so you've probably seen that. Next one is Wakakushi. This is the Pendulum monster. One of the Pendulum monsters. There's two. If you have no spells and traps in your graveyard, again, condition put on this card, you can place, so this is why it's in the Pendulum scale, so you activate in the Pendulum scale, you can place one Superheavy Samurai Pendulum monster from your deck to your Pendulum zone, accept this card, then special summon this card. So it goes in the scale, activate it, set another one up in the scale, summon this card. So it's now on the field, so it's now a monster. If you have no spells and traps in your grave, you can discard one monster, special one Superheavy Samurai monster from your deck in defense position, but you get locked into Super Heavies. If this card is used as sync more material and added to the face of X deck, you can place this card in the Pendulum zone. So basically, activate it, set up another one, special summon it, synchro with it, it goes back in the Pendulum zone, sets up your Pendulum summon. Next one, Superheavy Samurai Soul Piercer. You can target one Superheavy Samurai monster you control, equip this from your hand to that card, and then if it attacks a defense position monster, you inflict piercing. Also, if this card is sent from the field to the graveyard, you can add one Superheavy Samurai monster from your deck to your hand, bearing in mind both of those are non-once per turn. Next one, we've got the Wagon. If it's normal summoned, you can change its battle position. That's an effect, so you can go slug with that. If this card, it can attack while it's in face-up defense position, and if it does, apply its defense points for damage calculation. If you have no spells and traps in the grave, you can change this card from face-up defense position to face-up attack position and add one Superheavy Samurai Soul monster from your deck to your hand. Then we're going to actually go over these two scales first, I've decided. These two scales, same card, Big Benki. A Pendulum effect. If you control a Superheavy Samurai monster, you can add one Superheavy Samurai Soul monster from your deck to your hand. You can only use that effect once per turn, and then when it's on the field, you can send one, and you have no spells and traps. You can send one Superheavy Samurai Big Benki from your hand, deck, or deck to the graveyard. And if you do, special summon this card from your hand. If this card is used as synchro material and added to the face-up, and added to the extra face-up, you can place it in your Pendulum zone. So same thing, just comes back in the Pendulum zone. we'll go over the one of new one, and then we've basically got just a couple of new cards to go before we rattle through the hand traps and get into some combos. Superheavy Samurai Spy. If you've got no spells and traps in your grave, you can special summon this card from your hand. Just a extender. You can only special summon Superheavy Samurai Spy once per turn this way. If you have no spells and traps in your graveyard, quick effect, when you tribute this card, then target one spell or trap in your opponent's graveyard. Set it to your field, but banish it when it leaves the field. So you can take like their talents or something and use their talents. It's pretty good. Next, we'll go into scales. If your opponent controls 2 or more monsters and you control no monsters, you can special summon this card from your hand. If this card is normal or special, you can target one level 4 or lower Superheavy Samurai monster in your graveyard, except Superheavy Samurai Scales. Special summon it in defense position. You can only use this effect once per turn. The Soul Claw, target one Superheavy Samurai monster you control, equip this monster from your hand or your side of the field. To that, it gains 500 attack and defense, it can't be destroyed by battle. While this card is equipped to a monster by its card effect, you can special summon this card. So again, it's just an extender. Soul Peacemaker, this is pretty integral. You can target one Superheavy Samurai monster you control, equip this from your hand to that monster. While it's equipped to a monster, monsters your opponent controls cannot attack monsters you control, except the equipped monster. You can tribute a monster you control equipped with this card, special summon one Superheavy Samurai monster from your decks. It's pretty good. Box, Ancient Gear card, used in Earth Machine, Infinite Track Earth Machine, whatever you want to call it. If it's added from the deck or graveyard to the hand, except by drawing it, you can add one Earth Machine monster with 500 attack and or defense from your deck to your hand. You can only use it once per turn, and the card that we're going to add is Infinite Track Tunneler. You contribute one monster, special this card from your hand in defense position, banish this card from your graveyard, target 5 Earth Machine monsters in your graveyard, shuffle them into your deck, and draw 2 cards. It's basically just a free draw 2. Regulus, hopefully you know what Regulus does by now. Target one Therian, when it's on the field, you can target one Therian monster or one machine monster in your to summon it, you can target one Therian monster or one machine monster in your graveyard, special summon this card, and if you do, equip it to it. When your opponent activates a card or effect, quick effect, you can send one Therian monster from your hand or face-up field to the graveyard to negate that effect. So it negates the effect. A Therian monster equipped with this card getting 700 attack. So if you like equip one to it and like this gives the other one 700 attack, and also it can activate its second effect as if it were Therian King Regulus. Kaiju, this is a machine one because you can search it off Khalifat Genius. Double Kashtir Fenrir, I think he was just doing this for a little bit extra on the end board. Triple Nib, Triple Ash, Triple Gorga, Triple Failure, Triple Gamma, and a Driver. The Gamma is actually huge. Discarding this, no monsters. Using this effect in the scale, no monsters. To be honest, that's about it, but it comes down to that quite a lot. Side, I'm just going to go over side. Draw, everyone's aware. Kurikara, Retaliate, see if you don't know, basically. If your opponent activates a spell card that summons a card from the deck, if your opponent activates a spell card that special summons a card, you can special summon open, then any card sent to the graveyard is banished instead. If it's sent for the field, you get to add a maxi, but unfortunately that's banned. Bestials, Archfiend Eccentric, so this is popping up a little bit now. Pendulum effect, you can target one of the spell and trap card on the field, destroy both it and this card. Monster effect, tribute this card, then target one monster on the field, destroy it. Right, so now sell, synchro summoned, you get to bring back one level 2 or lower tuner from your graveyard. During your main phase, you can tribute this card, special one Stardust from your X deck. We're not really paying for playing that one. But another thing that's important to note is then immediately after this solves Synchro Summon using monsters you control as material. For the rest of this turn, Synchro Summoned monsters, the monsters Synchro Summoned by this effect are unaffected by your opponent's activated effects. So don't be trying to, Veil of the Baron, because it's not going to work, because it's unaffected. Superheavy Samurai, Synchro Monster, it can attack while it's face up defense once per turn. During the post turn, if you have no spell and trap cards in gravy, you can target one spell and trap card on the field, destroy it, and if you do, inflict 500 damage to your opponent. This is pretty good. Baguska, Gigagan X, Gigagan adds a level 3 or lower Monster. Spriggan's Merrymaker. If it's card special from your extra, you can send one Spriggan's monster from your deck to the graveyard during your opponent's main or battle phase quick effect. You can banish this card until the end phase. And if you banish this card with 2 or more XYZ materials, you can also send one fusion monster from your extra deck to the graveyard that lists Fallen of Albaz as material. Not sure why you play that, but I suppose we might find out later on. Zeus, obviously insane. Gigantic Champion Sagas. Once per turn, you can XYZ summon one Gigantic Champion Sagas by using one. Right, okay, so it's a bigger Zeus. It's like a downward Zeus. By using one Spriggan's XYZ material, transfer materials. It's just you make this, you make this, you make Zeus. Your Zeus has now got 4 materials. That's what I played. Superheavy Samurai Scarecrow. This is pretty important. One Superheavy Samurai monster cannot be used to link materials. You can discard a card, special summon one back. While you have no spells and traps in your graveyard, you take no battle damage from it. If you have no spells and traps, obviously you can discard a card, special summon one back. But it has to be a zone it points to. So if you Ghost Ogre this, doesn't get its effect, which is pretty good. Can't use a link material, so that's where this one comes in. To tribute it, to get some more value out of it. 2 Earth Machine monsters, link summon this, add Ancient Gear monster. It's pretty good. Access code, OTK Machine, Appaloosa. Really good part of the end board. Unicorn spins one back. And then we've got Cleafort Genius. This link summon card is unaffected by spell trap effects and the activated effects of other link monsters. Once per turn, target one face card on each player's field except this card. Both those cards have their effect negated until the end of the turn. That's not the important part. The important part is when 2 monsters are special summoned at the same time to the zones this card points to, you can add 1 level 5 or higher machine monster from your deck to your hand. Right. So Bike, I'll add the Soul Piercer. Normal Soul Piercer, link it off into this. Soul Piercer affecting Grave. Adds the Scale. The Wakushi. Wakushi effect activate. Put one in the Scale, that's going to be the Big Benki. And special summon this. Then we can use this effect to pitch this to bring back this. Then synchro these two into Axel. Obviously, this goes to the face-up X deck. So then it'll be Axel 1 and then the Scale 2. So Scale goes here. The Axel synchro brings back the Bike, and I get a Soul Search as well. So we got that Soul Search. The Soul Search would normally add this, but because we've already got it, we can add something else. So we can add a Scale. Then you get to Synchro to make a Baron. So then you got your Baron up. Then you can use this to attach to this, effect of this, which then summons out the Scales from deck, the Scales from deck, then summons out the Soul Piercer from the grave. You can then link these off into... You can go into Ballista, which can then add the box, which can then add the Regulus. But I'm just going to do this the sort of very, very standard way. So I get to use this effect to search one. So here I'm going to add a wagon. If I can do that, I can do that kind of. Once it, yep. Then I can use this effect to summon. So special summon, pendulum summon. I'm going to pendulum summon. Then I'm going to use this effect to search. That's going to add the Regulus. Then I can use the Bike to turn itself to attack. Get another search. Then you can make a 3 material Appaloosa. Then a Regulus. That's going to be in the first spec deck. And equip the Regulus with this. Then if you really wanted another search, you could Baron pop this just to get another search. And you're probably going to add another skill. So that's like sort of a 1.5 card combo because you got a discard. And you went up with a Baron, a Regulus, and Appaloosa for 3. Anyway, thanks for watching. Hope you learned a lot about the new Superheavy Samurai deck. Please subscribe because I need subscribers. The watch time's going up, but the subscriber count isn't. So yeah, cheers. Thank you. Bye.